Hello everybody, this is Ice, and today, what can I say? 650 plus subscribers, 6,000 views on that video. The video of course, my Ice GPU 2.0. What can I even say? I am so flattered and so excited to just know that many people saw my thing. Now, in that video, I did say I was going to make a more in-depth technical video about the GPU, and that's what this is. So, that's about what I have to say. I guess this will also count as a 600 subscriber special, but there you go. Let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's just explain the functions we haven't already done. In the GPU release video, I talked about all of the rectangle-based functions and the simple plot. Today we are going to be doing the two more complex algorithm-based functions, line drawing and circle drawing. Now, line drawing will seem very familiar because it's just like drawing a rectangle. You choose the starting point of your line, you choose the ending point of your line, and it will draw a line in between them. So let's say we wanted to draw a line from 2. Remember that 2 is 1, 0 in binary. From 2, 2, like so. 2, I don't know. We don't want too long of a line since it does take quite a while. But let's go from 2, 2 to 5, 8. Because 5 is 1, 0, 1, and 8 is again 1, 0, 0, 0. So now we've inputted these numbers, and there's really nothing else we should do. I'm going to set the time today, and then we will go ahead and hit the line drawing button. Now, after all of the fast functions that you saw, the slowness and lag from this function is going to kind of take you by surprise. It's a shame that it has to be that way, but just keep in mind that this function, unlike the rectangle functions, is actually using a very complicated algorithm, which we'll look at in a minute here, but we can see the line slowly drawing itself. Now, this is actually very fast considering how much calculation is going on back inside, but again, we'll talk about that later. And also, if my voice sounds a little bit off, I am slightly sick. I'm recording this as I'm homesick, so, yay for that. But this looks like it's turning out pretty well. We'll just wait for it here. And notice again also that the lines are not particularly straight. That's kind of how it is. This is the line, it's finished, and you'll see that it doesn't really look so straight until we've come out maybe to here. Then you might be able to start seeing it. If we went on like this, you'd see that the slope would be very similar, and we'd get a much straighter looking line. But there you go, there's the line drawing function. And now for the function you're probably all excited to see. The function that I had a lot of fun making, and the function that I think I'm most proud of out of anything in this entire Redstone device. And yes, this is circle drawing. Now, circle drawing, we're just going to forget about this top row of inputs. It doesn't matter anymore. We're just going to deal with the bottom row again. So let's say the bottom row will choose the center point of our circle. So if we wanted the center of our circle to be at 5 or 6, 6, we can just input a 6 here and here, and we will see that this is the center of our circle. Now we get to come over here and use the final input panel. This is radius, and let's just say we want our radius to be 3. So we're going to input a 3 in binary, which is just 0, 1, 1. And now we just have to wait a minute here, because these radius inputs take a while to get there. About this time, though, we are ready to hit the circle button. And this one looks slightly strange, as you'll see. Lots of lag with it, too, which is a shame, but, So it should start drawing just about now. And behold the beauty of circle drawing. I'll fly up in the air so you can see a little bit better. And here we go. Now, the circle drawer works a lot different than you might think. It doesn't go around the circle. It draws the parts at the very end first, and then it slowly zones in between the corners. And you'll see this as we go on. And we wait. The other interesting part about this circle drawer is they'll draw a bunch of pixels really fast, then it will take a long time and continue drawing really, so it should be starting back up right about now. And now we will see that a lot of pixels are being drawn right now, and you'll see that our circle is indeed coming together. And here we go. Kind of have to wait for it here don't have much to say. So as you can see, it's pretty much done with the main structure of the circle. This is like the outside points. Now this is the slowest function in the entire system just because it's so complicated. There's so much that has to happen to make circle drawing work. It's a shame, but you know, it works. So, we see that our circle is taking shape. 2 more points left to plot here, which should be next. And finally, in a minute, wait for it, here. And you will see that this is a very nice looking circle. Now, larger circles are going to look a bit strange, mainly because, you know, they're just so large and it's hard for the device to deal with something like that. But, for the most part, this is what the circles will look like. They're pretty good for Minecraft drawn circles, and I'm pretty happy with the algorithm. Alright, so here we are out back in the GPU, and you'll see, first of all, I'd just like to point out the RV and dirt house built here. These were built by people from the OR server who were kind of making fun of how large it was. They figured it would fit multiple houses like this. But there you go, there's that. And now let's have a look at some of this redstone in a bit more detail. First of all, what are these things doing? These input things here? Well, basically what these do is they make sure that point B, the end point of a line, is always higher and farther to the left, so up this way, from the starting point. This is just how the algorithm unfortunately has to work. I didn't make it so that it could draw any line, only a line that can go from a point down here to a point up there. Now, for instance, it couldn't go from, say, this point to this point, but that's just because mainly of these things. If I didn't do that, it would be, let's just say it would be a disaster. So coming over here, out of these come our input buses, and these get sent down into a lot of places actually. They go into these registers here, which we'll talk about in a second. They also go into these binary decoders, and these are all over YouTube. They're very simple. Basically, they take a binary number and convert it into a bunch of outputs, and each binary number will give a separate output. And these decoders will actually decide which screen cells will be activated. So, for instance, right now, you see that this wire and this wire is off, meaning that if we draw right now, then pixels on these 2 rows will happen. Now, there's the same thing for the y-coordinate over here, and basically it just kind of does an XY decoding, which is this big thing of torches here, to decide where pixels should be plotted. That was a not-so-great explanation, but it works. And now we get to the fun stuff. Let's see. Over here we have the main component of the line drawer. We can come out here and we can see that this is just the engine for it, mainly. Engine is a terrible word, but it's the kind of set of redstone that actually draws lines. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about how the algorithms work, especially the line drawing algorithm, as it's very abstract, very hard to understand if you don't really want to, and I don't think most people really do want to right now. But just keep in mind that it uses, it just kind of goes up based on an extra variable. But I'll just stop right there. This is the clock for line drawing. You can see that each pixel will take 7 times 4 plus 2, 60 ticks. Yeah, each pixel will take 60 ticks to draw in line drawing, so 6 seconds. That's alright. Over here, we have the circle drawer. Now, I kind of explained this algorithm as much as I'm really going to go into detail with right now. It uses negation of numbers in order to plot pixels all around a midpoint. Then it will do algorithm stuff and find the next places it should plot pixels. And this is why those plotting pixel sessions, those are when it's being fast, then it will wait a while it does the calculation. Hopefully those explanations, they were not too good, but hopefully they were good enough for you. Now, again, please, if you haven't already, share this thing around. I just don't want to sound greedy, but I know, you mean? Yeah. that's about what I have. I mean, there's not much else to say about this thing. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoy this GPU. This is probably the last time you'll see it on my channel. And there you go. And as always, well, bye now.